Welcome back, folks. This is Tommy, Help with Gadgets. And finally getting back into the swing of things. Had a sinus infection, and about the time that was over and I started feeling better, Hurricane Helene decided to visit the Carolinas. And power was finally turned on yesterday at about 8:30 p.m. We were without power for I think 9.5 days, and very thankful to have the power come back on. All right, so I've actually done a video on this particular knife. I was trying to do a video of this particular knife doing the disassembly and cleaning, and had the oddest thing that I've ever had happen. I took out the pivot, and the pivot was stuck. The pivot was stuck where it shouldn't be stuck. I mean, it was actually stuck into the scale, and ended up having to put a little bit of heat on it to get it to release. So actually took video of the issue that as I had it, and sent that off to Mr. Eddy. This is a Mr. Eddy knife, by the way, and I really appreciate him allowing me to take a look at it and do some videos on it. So let's go ahead and get into it. T8 on the scales, or excuse me, T8 on the pivot, and I think, well, let's go ahead and take off this side. It's been a few weeks since I've actually disassembled this knife with everything that was going on, and there we go. All right, so we have the back spacer, and we'll clean that up a little bit on the scales. And here's the Kickstop. Wanted to show that Kickstop, kind of how it works. So when you've got the knife closed, this is sticking up, and you flip it. This comes around and stops right about there. And the knife continues on around and locks into place. So it's really cool when you close it. Then again, it makes that flipper flip up. And so basically you have a hidden flipper there. When the knife is open, the flipper isn't around here sticking out this way. So it's actually pretty cool. All right, let's see if we can drop this out and get those bits and pieces into the alcohol bath there. Get that pivot out. As you can see, no sticking of pieces this time. I'll see if I can pop that washer out. Yeah, there we go. And we'll clean that off and see if we can get the one out of here as well. I'm just trying to catch that edge on that washer and get it flipped up. All right, then we'll take alcohol swab and wipe all the bits and pieces down here. Get the back spacer and wipe it off. and do the scales. There's not a terrible amount of weight reduction here on this side, so it's kind of chunky. I do want to clean out that area there, as well as where the pivot goes, or where the bearings go, and of course the lock face and all that kind of good stuff, just to make sure we've got nice and clean hardware. I'll go ahead and wipe this off the back part as well. I think in the box there's actually a separate clip if you don't like the skull. If this was my knife, I would probably put that other clip on there, but it's Mr. Eddy's knife, and that's the way it came, so that's the way I'm going to leave it. Alright, I want to make sure that area where the pivot barrel goes is clean, and any other nooks and crannies that I may be able to just make sure are good to go. Alright, let's go ahead and get this one. And again, I'll do the same thing with this one. Get a little bit of alcohol in there and clean out that area as well as that area. And while I'm at it, I'll clean that. And seeing as I didn't get this one on this side, I will go ahead and do that as well. Alright, let's go ahead and get a fresh alcohol swab and start getting all the pieces out. We'll wipe the washers down, and that one was a thicker one, I think. No, they're both about the same. Those are some fairly thick washers. All right, let's go ahead and get the bearings out and wipe those off. Trying to remove any kind of residue that may be in there. Old oil or grease, and get those all fresh and ready for a new coating of oil. Or in this case, I like to use Gunny Glide. And then we'll take the little Kickstop thing with the little brass washers there. You may have seen some residue there on the scales as I cleaned them, and what it looked like to me was that there was some residue from the from those brass bearings. Doubt it hurt anything, but just a note that it was there. Alright, and then I'm going to take this. Don't know that I actually dipped that into the alcohol, so I'll do that. And then we will back those. I'm putting my finger in the threads of the pivot screw there, and just kind of backing it out, and in the process backing out hopefully any kind of old Loctite that may be there. May not get it all, and in fact, well, let me pause because I've got to go down and get a screw. So I managed to drop the pivot screw down there, and this is such tight quarters in my little recording area that it took me a minute to locate it. And basically what I'm doing now is I'm going to take and the little pair of tweezers that I have and clean out any residue here that I wasn't able to get to, and dip it back into the alcohol and repeat the process, making sure that I'm trying to get as much. What I don't want to happen is I don't want the residue that's on that screw to interfere with how it seats when I put everything back together. All right, I think we're good there. All right, let's go ahead and slide this in. And we're going to take and I'm going to double check this, make sure they're the same thickness. Okay. And then I'm going to put this in. I'm going to put the bearing in and put just a little bit of gunny glide there, and also on the deep temp ball. Alright, and then I'm going to put the blade in place. Actually, I'm going to wipe the blade off. I still had a little bit of residue on it from where I had put alcohol. And this could be a little fun, but we'll give it a shot anyways. A little bit of gunny glide there. I'm going to go ahead and drop this in place. And alright. And I want to put this in, and this would be this way, I believe. And again, I'm going to push this down. I'm going to put the washer on. And then I'm going to see if I can't slide this over. Drop it into place. Everything else is looking good. I'm going to get out my stick here with my Loctite. I want to put a little bit of Loctite on this screw, get it in there, and get it in place. Alright, and then I'll adjust that, tweak that a little bit here in just a few minutes. Get this body screw in place and this body screw in place, and tighten those down. Alright, let me check everything, make sure I've got it back together correctly. Alright, looking pretty good. Actually, the action feels nice. Not feeling any blade play. I'm actually going to back off that. Actually, I'm going to back that off just a little bit. Still centered. Not feeling any blade play. And the action seems really good. So there you have it. That's a disassembly and cleaning of the Chavez Redencion 229, I believe it is. Is that right? If that's not right, I will put it up in the screen there. But I do appreciate y'all watching. This has the, again, with the Lee Williams Kickstop. And actually a really cool knife. I don't normally go for a flipper only, but this one's pretty cool. But we'll talk about that a little bit more on the review portion that hopefully will be out in a few days. But there you have it. That's the Chavez Redencion 229 with a Kickstop. And I really appreciate everyone watching. If you hadn't done so, please hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the content. And hopefully we'll see you again soon. Thank you. Hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day.